So sorry about that little break right now. I had finished recording the episode and I just went to go edit it, and I realized that uh, it stopped recording when I started talking about what was it? Cory Booker co-opting the conversation for income inequality with child poverty. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. I still have like these crazy small little issues going on. If you saw this setup, I'm in my office right now at home. I have the camera set up on a stack of books on like a drawer that I have as well. Like this is my M audio sound driver that I use for music production. You know, it's a mess. I'm just kind of winging it as I go along, but I want to give you the content I believe is professional, and so that's the most important thing, and that's why I'm doing what I do. Anyways, let me just get back to it. Cory Booker did co-opt a conversation for income inequality, talking about the wealth gap in the country. How a lot of people make billions of dollars, millions of dollars a year, and some people are living in poverty. And he comes out and he's like, "Oh well, childhood poverty is the one issue we have to focus on." Like we all know that childhood poverty is bad and it's horrific, and children starving and living in the streets is horrible. But that's not what we're talking about. So I don't like when he co-opts the discussion for larger issues than a microcosm of that issue. And it's the same thing with Senator Harris. Women's reproductive health, yes, very important. We must dedicate so many resources to that. We must fund Planned Parenthood, but it is a microcosm of Medicare for all. Medicare for all will give all women coverage. Medicare for all, according to Bernie Sanders' plan, will give women reproductive health care coverage. So nothing that either one of them is saying, don't let them fool you. They're not giving you any new ideas. They're not presenting anything actually new. They're only doing something for a soundbite so that they look stronger, so that they brand themselves better. Um, I'm just wondering, do they actually think the American people are stupid? Like, do they think that they're gonna pass one over us? That's why I can't get behind them. The other thing that I don't like in the debates is these calls to either unify the whole party, which seems pretty unified. No one's really going after each other that harshly. Or these calls to not argue. Pete Buttigieg, like, oh, if I had $1 for every single time that whatever, I'd be able to pay for everyone's college. Get out of here, man. Like, it's just bullshit. Let everyone argue. I want to see some not tit for tat, but I want to see some like real substantive arguments. Like that's what we're here for. Um, I didn't like. It's not necessarily her policy positions, but then I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just don't think that a lot of people are going to like it. I think it's going to turn people off, whether general or the Democratic base. A lot of Kamala Harris's language comes off as draconian. I did mention, her hyper focusing on wanting to ban Donald Trump's Twitter account. Yeah, Twitter is a private company, therefore, like they have the freedom to decide who's on their platform or not, or change the guidelines or apply the guidelines. If he does violate the guidelines, they can remove him. But it just sounds like coming down on freedom of speech. Twitter is Donald Trump's vehicle to speak to the country. I think it's shitty. I think it's horrible that we have a president who tweets as much and as uh, incoherently and abrasively as he does. He's ridiculous. But for her to focus on that, and then she was also talking about executive orders. I forget, as a solution to what was it? Um, was it? No, it wasn't Supreme Court. It was something I forget. But just the fact that she's talking about executive orders, it was something, a discussion where she didn't need to. Like, it wasn't It seemed like the Democrats are having like a good enough conversation about it, and then she just talks about executive orders. Um, and especially in opposition to Trump, it just seems, you know, she would be, trust me, she would be a much better president than Donald Trump. But in terms of opposition to Trump, he is very draconian. You know, so for her to come out with like these, okay, I want to do an executive order, I want to review state laws on abortion. I believe that if there actually are state laws that are reducing women's access to abortion rights, absolutely we should take that on. But the language and the messaging that she's putting behind it, she's gonna put the of Justice in charge of reviewing those state laws. It all sounds very draconian. I don't look. She probably won't take that advice. I don't think she might not be in it to win it. I don't think she's gonna go much further. Um, I don't know. Her whole thing though is just being anti-Trump, and that's not going to win her votes. The things that I did like Andrew Yang and Beto O'Rourke teaming up, kind of tag teaming when they were talking about opioids and the decriminalization of drugs. Beto O'Rourke furthered it by saying that we should be allowing marijuana to be a substitute for opioids, and that it may be effective. Uh, so many people have been affected by the opioid crisis. I think that it is something that Republicans and Democrats and independents can all get behind. Um, what else on that Klobuchar? Amy Klobuchar, I like that she was taking Big Pharma to task uh, to pay for the opioid crisis and the damage that they've done, and trying to get more profits out of the crisis, and taking advantage of people who have been sickened by it. Uh, this goes a little bit back to her draconian language, but I actually liked it, Kamala Harris, and I think other people like it too. She came off as very strong, saying that she wants to send pharma executives to jail for essentially being high level drug dealers. I think that was effective. I think Americans can definitely get behind that. Um, I think people in general feel strongly about it because we've all been affected one way or another. If not personally, we know someone that has. Another thing that I liked in the debate was Julian Castro talking about Tatiana Jefferson in Fort Worth. This was during the discussion on uh, guns and gun violence. He was the only one to kind of talk about police gun violence as a certain type of gun violence. Uh, it's state sanctioned because essentially the government is giving the police force weapons, and they're using weapons. That officer shot Tatiana Jefferson in her own home. So, and it's a good thing that he was charged with murder. Um, so I liked that. And then I also liked uh, Tulsi Gabbard going after Pete Buttigieg on foreign policy. They were having a kind of debate going back and forth, and she really hit it home when she was like, "Okay, so you would continue this? I forget, like you would continue the um, regime change wars. You would continue uh, X. You could continue Y. You would continue Z." And just the fact that she kept repeating, "You would continue. You would continue," took us to the notion that we have been having the same foreign policy for all this time and nothing is changing. And she really is coming out as one of the strongest candidates in terms of foreign policy. Um, I thought that was fantastic. And then the last thing that I liked, Tom Steyer, he used the word frenemies. I forget he was saying something about our allies and our frenemies across the globe, which is kind of funny to see that a billionaire might have been referencing Mean Girls. But I guess he's just like the rest of us, non-billionaires. um, so that's all that I had for this. Uh, just wanted to say thank you for watching and for trusting me with the debate analysis. And if you like this, then give me a thumbs up. Comment in the section down below. Subscribe to me. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Johnny Jabbour, JOHNNY JABBOUR. Again, thanks to Oscar. Thanks to all my friends who have helped out with this. This is just a little thing that I'm doing. Hopefully, we could get more going. Let me know if there's anything you want in particular. But yeah, I'm enjoying doing this, and hope to do a new one fairly shortly. Thanks for watching. Take care.